Hi, David here from Animator Artist Life. So today I'm going to show you how to draw various types of logos in Adobe Illustrator. Now, it doesn't matter if you're brand new to Illustrator or you've been using it a while, you should still hopefully learn something. So we're going to go over 3 different styles of logos. 1, a corporate logo, 2, a more illustrated logo, and 3, an eco-type logo. In a follow-up video, we'll be taking one of these logos and creating a fully animated logo sting in Adobe After Effects, and this is the result. So today we're going to cover my main tools that will allow you to create almost any design and shape really you need inside Adobe Illustrator, so let's get going. Hi, so before we go ahead with the first logo, let's just go over some basic of my favourite tools that I use to create almost any shape really. So let's start up here. So first of all, first thing is the pen tool. If you scroll down to here, you've got the pen tool. If you click and hold, you'll see it's got a subset of icons, which is the add anchor, delete anchor, and anchor point tool. So the pen tool is great for free form drawing. So let's give it a go. First of all, we're going to use just straight edges. So if I, let me just up the stroke so that you can see it. So at the moment it's just at 1 point. Let's put it at something like 10 or 12. So if I just click, you can see the thing, the direction of the line comes off, showing you the direction. Click again, click again, click again. You can click as many times as you want, all in straight lines. And when you roll over the first point that you started on, you'll see a little circle appear. This means join and close the path. I'm just going to click it, and it closes. So this is the shape just by clicking and dragging. You get nice straight edges. If I click up here, which is the selection tool, it will move the whole thing. If I select the one underneath, which is the direct selection tool, which is the shortcut A, it lets you then select just single points to move around. So we'll be using this, we'll be swapping in and out of the two all the time. So back to the path tool, I'm going to click on the pen tool here. This time I'm going to click and drag, and you can see you get these handles. Again, this dictates the direction of the flow this time, the way the curve's going to go. So, and then I'll click again. As you can see, it's curved. Click again and drag, click and drag, click and drag. And again to the end to close it off. So you can see just clicking is going to give you straight edges. Click and drag is going to give you nice smooth edges which you can move around. The next thing I want to bring your attention to is the anchor point tool. So if you've noticed, the one where we closed it off is straight. We could have just clicked and dragged it would have been smooth, but I just want to show you this. We've forgotten it, so we just click and drag and it converts the point. Same up here. If I select something up here, click and drag, it converts a sharp corner to a smooth, and you can use these as much as you want and reshape them. And once you've done that, you might want a mix of shape of straight and curved. Go up to the direct selection tool again, and we can move and reshape the path. Again, we can also select the handles. Sometimes they're a bit tricky to click on, but this is how we get nice smooth shapes. So the lesser the points, the more smooth the shape and more control you're going to have. So that's the best method to go with. So that's the pen tool. I just want to show you about the colouring as well, which you might or might not already know. Down here I am on black for outline, and at the moment the colouring is white. So if I click this tiny little arrow, it says swap fill and strokes. It swaps it back and forward. Again, if I also click the black outline, I can click a new colour and change the colour. So with this, you've got to be just got to know that you're on. Sometimes you're drawing and it will fill in the solid colours, but you actually only want outlines. Then you know you just need to switch this back. So if I click back to this, we've got a white outline with a pink middle. Go back to the pen tool. Sorry, up here, or P for shortcut. Click, drag, and you can see it automatically fills it in. Now if I flick the foreground and outline colours again and draw again, it's only going to be the outline. So something to keep in mind. And I'm going to select them all, press delete. So the most common tool I use after this, after the freeform drawing, is the pathfinder. It's really useful. So it's up here. You might have to go up to Windows and pathfinder down here to open it up. And what you'll get is a set of menus up here. So if you roll over, you've got unite, or minus front, or punch as some people call it, intersect, exclude, and you've got some other options for divide, trim, merge, crop, outline, and minus back. So the way this works is you can punch shapes out of others. So I use this all the time. So let's just create a let's just put this back to black so we can see it a bit easier. And I'm going to select the white here and click no fill. Okay, I'm going to draw a shape, and I'm going to up the stroke so that you can see it easier. Okay, so now I'm going to get another shape, like an ellipse. I'm going to go over the top. I'm going to go up to my selection tool, or when you get used to it, you can obviously just press V and A. I'm going to be using the arrows for now so you can see what I'm doing. So just drag and select them both. Now at the moment, the circle is on top of the rectangle. So that is the shape that's going to punch out the bottom. So if I, let's start with this one first. Obviously, it's unite. It just fills the colors together, fills the shapes, the paths together. I'm going to undo that with Control Z, and then I'm going to go on to the one that I use the most, which is minus front. And this is great for punching out shapes, and they can be really complex shapes. So let's get rid of this circle, and let me draw something a little bit more complicated with the path tool. So I'll do lots of points coming through here. I'm going to come back up through here, finish the path off. So I'm going to select this one, then this one, or just select them all. But we know that we drew this shape second, so it is on top. So let's just select them and press the punch tool again. And there we go. Let's just swap those around so you can see the shape. And that's how it works. So let's just go back to outline. I'm just going to undo this. And now I'm going to reverse it the other way. So I'm going to select, I'm just going to fill this one white again, or any color, so we can see what we're doing. I'm going to give each color a different fill. Let me give this one just sort of like a dark purple so it contrasts. So at the moment we have this color on top. So if you want to punch the other one out of the other shape, it must be on top. So we select it, and we select the short key, which is Control and then the square bracket. That's all it is. So now this is one on top. You can also go up to arrange, view, arrange. I think it is in there somewhere, but I'm so used to using the control brackets. You need to learn those hotkeys because you'll be using them all the time. So now if we select both of them and click punch, it's punched it the other way around. So that's the way the minus front tool works. I'm going to just undo that again, and I'm going to select this one, Control, square bracket, bring to the front. So let's now try the next one, which is intersect. I'm going to click this, and what this does is it leaves whatever's in the middle, the intersection. I'm going to undo that, and I'm going to go on to the next one, which is exclude, and it excludes the intersection. It's the other way around. So now this is actually grouped together at the moment. So if we go Object, Ungroup, now we can select the separate parts. Okay? So that's the way those main tools work. There are some others like the divide, trim. These work better on even more complicated things. So let's add another circle in over the top. Say something here. Let's give it a different color. Let's put this right here. So now I'm going to select all of them. Press divide, and this is now divided. So it's almost like it's got a laser cut and cut through all of them. So now we just go Object, Ungroup, and each and every piece is there. And this is great. I use this sometimes to punch out or overlap shapes that are overlapping each other to get some complex shapes out. There might be a logo or an illustration. Let's undo that. Back to where we were, and then you can play with these others as well. You've got trim, which is to trim the outer edges. Then you've got the rest of them. You've got merge, crop, and outline, and minus back. So I don't want to spend too much time on this because I'm going to do another tutorial that goes through all of the basics of path tools and cutting and things. So let's go on to another example, which is called the shape builder. It's pretty similar to Pathfinder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to I don't want any outline on this one, just to give an example. I'm just going to create a few circles. Here, 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 and here. Let's colour them up differently so we can see what we're doing. Oh, as you can see, I had the outline in the front there, so that was what was on. It's now coloured the outline, which we don't want. So we must make sure we select the background and then colour it. So let's just colour these up. 1, 2, 3. Let's give this one this sort of colour. So the shape builder works. It's a fantastic tool, and you know, sometimes I use a mix of the both. Sometimes punch is, or the minus front is quicker. Let me just show you this. I'm going to select them all, and this little icon here is called the shape builder. Let's click on it. You must have selected them all first. So this is just a really quick way of joining shapes together. If I just click and hold and draw through where I want to go, and then let go, it's instantly made that top path one section. I'm going to undo that again, make sure they're all selected. I'm just going to show you one more. So I'm going to go through there, here, let go, and there you go, it's made those solid. Now what you've got is you've got another option, is you can hold Alt. So if I just hold Alt and click, it will delete little bits. I'm going to undo that again, and this time I'm going to hold Alt and drag through, and it's just going to remove bits that we don't want. So it's very, as you can see, it's very quick. And now I can go back to the plus tool and say, okay, I want all these joined up. Just go boom, straight through, and it's done. Oh, I've missed a bit. Bang. So it's very, very quick, this one. There's another bit. So these are all great tools. You might want to use both. A combination of this. So we've got the freehand drawing tool for drawing your own shapes. We've got the pathfinder, which is just quickly punch out a shape. Cut a square, cut a circle out of something, and then we've got the shape builder, which can, you know, attach multiple shapes. So with these are our sort of main tools, and we'll be going over some more. But let's move on to logo 1, so we can start the process of learning how to do the artwork for the first logo, which is a corporate logo. Okay, let's get going with logo number 1. This is the corporate logo style design. Again, just to reiterate, this isn't a real company or logo. This is just something I knocked up just for the purposes of this training. So this is the logo we're going to go for. Just I chose this because it's got nice shapes that we can animate later, and it's good for learning the Pathfinder tools, which we've just quickly gone over. Okay, let's get started. Move this out of the way. Okay. First of all, we want to create the first base shapes. Let's go in and get our polygon tool, which we're going to go down to. Hold over the ellipse, you'll get all the different tools come up. So we want the polygon tool, and instead of just clicking and dragging, because you'll get the wrong shape. Let me just go back to the default colors. What we want to do is just click once, because we want to choose the amount of sides, because we want a triangle. Go down to 3 sides, click OK. I'm going to go up to our selection tool, or press V. And let's center this on the screen. You don't have to, but let's go up to our align. With the align tool, if you want to set this to align to artboard, or if you align to section, that is aligning multiple objects towards each other. So align to artboard. Just going to click in the middle, And now we want to rotate. So if I go over the corner, you'll see the little icon change to a curve, and you can click and drag and rotate this. What you want to do is hold down the shift key so it goes in increments of 45 degrees. So there, we're going to turn it exactly into 90 degrees. I'm going to just align this again. You don't need to align this, but it's nice to work center. Okay, so let's now we want to quickly just duplicate this over. So I'm going to select this, and a really quick way to duplicate this is just hold down the Alt key, and you'll see the symbol change to 2 things. And there you go, you can create duplicates really quickly and easily. I'm just going to undo that to show you something else, because I'm going to hold down the Alt key to duplicate. I'm going to drag away, but this time I'm going to hold down the Shift key, and as you can see, it snapped exactly in line. That's what we want. So I'm just going to move this over. It's just all this done by eye as well, so let's just move it over to about here. There we go. And as we learned before, we're going to select both of them. This one in front is on top. Press punch. We have our first shape. So I'm going to show you now a great little tool for doing the corner radius thing. So let's select the tool. select the shape, sorry. I'm going to go down to our direct selection tool, and you'll notice you get these little tiny, I'm just going to zoom in here, you get these little tiny circles come up. And what these are is the corner radius. It lets us control the corner radius. Now, at the moment, we've got the whole shape selected. If I select over that, you'll see the icon change to a small arch. If I click and drag, you can control the corner radius. But what this is doing is it's doing it to every single one at the moment. So I'm going to undo that. You can actually do it to one corner at a time. So if I select, say, let's click off, say drag and select, and I've only got this one point selected, and you can do one point at a time. Again, if I select, say here, I can do a little bit, I can drag up until it stops, and you can get some nice lovely smooth corners. So let's undo that a moment. I just want to show you something else. I'm going to go back to this one. I'm to get it back now, to adjust it again, you just either select one of the vertices. Well, actually you would need to select both, and you can pop it straight back out to a point and it snaps back to the original. I'm just going to show you, you've got different chamfer options. I don't really use these very much, but if you double click here, you've got different options, and you've got 3 different options for how it's chamfered, which is inwards and flat. So this might be quite useful to you. It's more useful on a on something like a square or something like that, actually, to get decent shapes. For example, if we now adjusted the corner radius of these and then double clicked and choose this, you know, you can get nicer shapes. So, you know, they might be useful. Square, chamfered again, click OK, and then you can go back and just do one. So that might help you out there. Okay, let's carry on with the design. So we've got our shape here. Now what we want to do is, let's just zoom out a little bit. We want to now do exactly what we said before with another duplicate. So to create this design, it's sort of like a mechanical, flat, abstract eye, really. So again, shift, and we're going to, now we want to scale it down. Now if I click and drag it, it's going to get distorted. If I hold down shift, it doesn't get distorted, but it's not doing it from the center. So what we want to do is hold down shift for uniform scale, and also alt for scaling from the center. And now we get smooth scaling from the center, so it stays in line. So let's bring it down to, you know, let's just eyeball it for now. Bring it over. So what I'm doing here is I've just hit the shift key and the arrow key, and it does it in increments of 10 pixels. You can do up or down as well, or I can just now move it to place. Just move into place, but I can hold the shift key. And you see how it's snapped, because we've got up here, we've got view, we've got smart guides, and we've also got snap to grid, snap to pixel as well. So at the moment, that is that's in a perfect place, but we want it a bit fatter now. So what we're going to do is, as you notice, I've got scale strokes on as well. So when I scale something, the strokes get bigger and smaller. So it might be a bit small. So let's just put the stroke back up to 1. So hopefully you can see this. In fact, I'll just up them both so you can, because you might be able to see this. Right, okay. So here we want to make this fatter, because in the original design it is it's a bit fatter. So we don't want to sort of be going, you know, collecting all these and trying to make it a bit fatter like this. We would never get it accurate. I'm just going to undo that. What we're going to do is use a utility called offset path. So I'm going to select the inner arrow, go object, and then going to go to path and offset path. Now you can already see what it's done here, so let's just I've already got it set to minus, so you can go minus or plus. So if I did 10 and hit tab, you can see it's offset it by 10 pixels outwards, and you can turn on the preview on and off. You can do 30, I'm pressing the tab key to preview it, or you can do, say, -5 and it will bring it in, -15 to bring it in really far. So that's how this tool works, and it's great, and it does it in proportion as well. So let's go with something like, let's see what 8 looks like. I want +8, not minus. That looks pretty good. We can always adjust it later. So if I click OK, and what it does leave you with the original as well. So we don't need that one anymore. I'm going to delete it. And now I want to line it up again. As you can see, I'm holding a shift and snap into place. Perfect. What I'm going to do now is let's give these a cut. Let's shade these in. I tend to find it works better for me visually. May not be for you, to work in outlines as well or filled colors. And when I'm doing a corporate logo, I normally work in grayscale, black and white, and then color it later, so you're not distracted by the colors. Sometimes you need to on illustration, say like on the next logo we're going to do, like the ice cream logo, it's better to have colors in early. So what I'm going to do is just fill this in black, and I actually don't want an outline, so I'm just going to swap it. And we've got the white outline still, so I'm going to select it and collect none. And this one, I'm going to just fill it a grey. Let's just work in grayscale for now. So let's just fill it like 50% grey. Oh, we're on the outline, so no outline. Fill color, and let's say this. There we go. Okay, next, when I quickly design this, I sort of had a curved side, this side. So let's go and create those things now. The best way to do this is actually let's put this on a layer. I like to use layers all the time. It keeps things organized and we can lock them so we don't draw over them. So we've got this on a layer, and I'm just going to double click and call this right arrows, and I'm going to go new layer, and I'm just going to go left circle 1 perhaps. You know, you can rename this. And now if I want, with the right arrows, I can click this little icon in the middle, this padlock icon. That means I can't select it. It is very useful when you start overlapping things. So let's start the next section. I'm going to draw an ellipse, a circle, sorry. Now, when you draw these, you'll get an ellipse. If you hold down the shift key, you get a dedicated circle. So let's do something like this. We can always enlarge it. And I'm going to swap this around. We don't want it filled. Align tool. Let's align it. Just make sure we're working center. And then I'm going to move it over. So now I know we're sort of dead in line, top and bottom, because we're going to go outwards anyway. In fact, I'm going to shrink it a bit really, because we're going to go from the middle, the middle out. What we want to do now is we only want a semicircle. So originally I showed you the path tool quickly. It has some extra options which is called minus and add, so we can add or delete extra points in. So you might think that we could just use this delete anchor point and delete this to give us the semicircle, which will work, but it doesn't cut it out, and we're left with this strand. So what the best way to do is use the direct selection tool, select the vertice and press delete, and now we're left with just the path. So let's give this some width. We need our stroke, which is up here. Let's got a nice thickness. Let's start with the outer one. So about 60 might look good. Hold the shift key, bring it in. Let's go a bit thicker. That looks good. And just move this into place. Hold the shift key, maybe. There we go. Yep, that'll do for now. We can always adjust that. You can always adjust that later. So now I'm going to just quickly select it, hold down Alt and duplicate it, and I'm going to hold down the Shift and Alt keys to go from center. I'm going to bring this down into the middle. Let's go here for now, and let's see. We probably want this a bit thicker so we can up the stroke. That looks good. And now I'm going to bring this one in. Yeah, that looks better. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, let's just make sure. At the moment they're still on the same layer, so I'm going to go up to our left circle, and I've got a short key set to just add it there, but you can just click the menu. Oh yes, actually that's up here, object, Let's select these two objects, make sure we're on the empty layer, object, arrange, center current layer. I've got mine set as Shift Control W, and there we go, it's on that layer, so we've got separate layers. It just keeps things easier to manage when you get more complicated shapes and stuff later. Okay, so let's move on. We've got those two shapes done. Now we need the thin line in the middle. Again, we can just let's do it a different way. Let's do another circle. We want, because you can do things loads of different ways. It's always good to change. Let's change this to sort of 3. Bring it into the middle. Okay, so that's too big. Yep, that looks a good fit. Maybe let's go a bit bigger to get it in the middle. Let me just zoom in here. Okay, going to go up to my direct selection tool, delete this, so we're left with this little path in the middle. Okay, now I'd like to just move this back so it just lines up a bit better, right on the edge there. That looks better. Nearly there. It's quite a simple design, this one, and I had, let's thicken this up. I'm clicking on the stroke here. Yeah, that looks good. And I also had two sort of circles here. Swap the colors around. Let's just make that black. I'm going to zoom in to get the positioning better, and you can just hit you can hit the up and down arrows, and it moves 1 pixel at a time as well. Now I'm going to hold my Alt key to duplicate, and then the Shift to constrain it up and down into the middle. Yep, looks pretty good. The shape's a little bit off, isn't it? So let's see if we can fix this somehow. Yeah, that looks. Get it aligned. I think that's I think it's a bit too thick at the moment as well. Let's knock it down a bit. There we go. That looks much better. Okay. There we go. Don't forget to save your work as you keep going through, in case your computer crashes. Right. Let's get. What have we got? We've got to do the inner pupil symbol, and we've got to do the typography as well. Let me just quickly get that typography in there. I like to get a feel of the width. Let's see. So we've got and that was just using the text tool. Nothing fancy. Wood. Again, just a random made up. And let's see, click on the properties. The font we want for this particular one is Avenir. Let's do this one was a very thick one, so it was the heavy. Nope, a bit too much. It was the bold. Put this up here. Let's put these together. And then I had a nice italic. Fonts do complement each other when they're the same font, but with the heavy and the thin version. Great. So now I'm just going to select everything and move it up into the middle a bit more. And then I had a strap line, which was, just turn on caps lock, optical. Again, this is just completely fiction. So let's see, just want regular, and then I changed the letter spacing, the kerning. Always looks good. Something like this. Spread it out. Actually, I think I spread it out to the whole width of the logo. So let's go 400, something like that. So you could do something in the middle, or you could get it to line up. Let's get it to line up. I think it looks pretty good like that. And again, it's just what I'm doing is I'm clicking here under the properties panel of the coning, and I'm upping the letter spacing. Yeah, looks pretty good for now. Again, you can tweak this. Okay, so we're almost done already. Now we need the pupil bit in the center. So I'm going to, there's a few ways you can approach this from the techniques that we've learned. I'm just going to save my work again, obviously. Let's do this over here. So let's create a circle. Let's go over here and zoom in so we can work nice and big. So hold down the Shift key, create a circle. So we want to punch out different shapes, and I wanted this sort of swooping motion through the center in the pupil, almost like a globe really. And let's go, so we could either draw shapes that go through, or we could, let's see, we could do it this way. We could create an ellipse, change the path, up the stroke, delete, change the color for now, swap those around, and we don't want any fill at all, so none. And then we could use this to punch out, but there's one thing you couldn't do. You couldn't just punch a stroke out. We would have to expand the fill first. So I'm just going to show you that. Let's get 3 lines in there going first. So we want the top one to be a bit thinner, and then I had another one. Let's create this a bit thicker. And then this one, let's stretch it out, thicker again. So at the moment, you couldn't just select the stroke and then select the sphere and punch, because it would cut the top completely off. It's looking at it as a cut line. It's not looking at it as a shape. So there's another function we need to use, which is if we select the stroke and then go to Object, Expand, it gives us the option here to expand it, fill and stroke. We only need the stroke, but I mean just setting the defaults for now. Now when I click OK, you see what it's done here. It's actually converted that stroke into a shape. So if I select this, there you go, it's turned into a shape. So now when we select this, then the sphere, and then punch it out, we get what we want. So we could do these, save time, and do these 2 strokes together. We could Object, Expand, and then we could say select both of these, and we could unite these, so now they're one. Then select the sphere underneath, press punch. Oops, sorry, I had up too much selected. Select the upper, select the sphere, and punch. This is where we've gone wrong. So this needs to be this is actually 2 shapes together, so it's good that we kept this mistake in, because you will come across it. So what you need to do is select this first. This isn't united. This is 2 shapes grouped together. So Object, Ungroup, and there you go. There's the 2 shapes. Now if I select both of these and then select Merge, they will be one shape. But let's just punch these out first. So select the top one, select the one underneath, punch, and now we get what we want. So now you've got both these are separate, so we could select these and press Merge, and we now get one shape. So that's one way of doing it, and you get your nice shape. But what I wanted is, I wanted one side thin and getting a bit thicker on the other side. So let's do another version. Let's move that up to there. I'm just going to shrink it down. Let's do another version now, another way. So let's do the circle again. And this time we want to create some, we could freehand draw these shapes in if you want, or another way is we can create 2 circles. So let's go 1, just going to colour this differently, 2, I'm just going to again colour it differently so you can see what I'm doing. So here what we can do is we can create a shape to punch out from a punch type shape. So let's extend this. Let's say something like this. Select the both and punch this out. Oops, sorry. Select both and punch it out. So now we get more of an interesting shape than a straight bar. I mean, that might be what you want. And now we can use this over here. Let's position this where we want it now. So let's stretch it to get some more interesting shapes. And I'm going to rotate this because what I want this sort of perspective thing. It's one there. And one again. So we might have to go a bit smaller on this one. Again, this is just down to style and preference. Do this any way you want. And then the last one, let's get it. There we go. I kind of like this thing where it's spreading out. It's got some taper to it. Yeah, I think that would work quite well. So I'm going to select all these three shapes. I'm going to merge them. Now they are one. I'm going to select that one, then the sphere underneath, and punch. And you get a different shape. I mean, you can work on this, change the shape, whatever you want, but I'm just trying to show you how you can get different interesting shapes. So let's just bring this down, put it into the middle of our logo. I'm going to delete that one for now. And there we go. It didn't take long at all. Now if I group this, if I press Ctrl G or Object Group to move it around together, you will lose your layering. Watch this. If I group this, the shortcut for this is Ctrl G. You see how it moved all up to different layers? The same layer, sorry. So I'm just going to undo that, and we're just going to move it into the middle. I just wanted to show you that in case you spend ages doing sort of 10, 20, 50 layers and you group it together, you will lose it all. So there we go, guys. That is logo number 1. And now I just want to show you a really good website for using color. But before I do that, let's just go in and corner radius some of these. Let's change the design up a little bit. I think I had these two. Let's select the two vertices and corner radius them. That looks better. And this is down to taste. Do you want this one cornered as well or not? I quite liked it straight, and I quite like it just having the outside of it curved and the inside straight. Or you may want a tiny bit of corner radiusing on these ones. Up to you. And let's go and add some corner radius to this one. At the moment we can't do that because it's a path. So let's go up to Object, Expand. And now we've turned this from a single path with a stroke into an object. And I'd like to corner radius these a little bit. I think that would look good. Yeah, something like that. And then we may as well do the inside one as well. Object, Object, Expand. Again, this is all down to personal taste. You know, maybe you just want these two outer ones. Sorry, these two outer ones with a corner radius. Entirely up to you. Oops, edit, redo, expand. I'm just going to add a little bit of corner radiusing. There we go. Take this as far as you want, really. It's up to you. Change the design, or just apply. Apply it. This is for you to really apply it to your own design. Right, back to this fantastic tool I've picked up for doing colouring. Let me just load up. So this website is called coolors.co. COOLORS.co. And what this does is it's just a database of colours that accompany each other. It's fantastic. If you just click generate, and if you just hit spacebar, every time you hit spacebar, it comes up with a different colour combination of colours that complement each other. And then what you can do is you say, okay, I like this purple, I'll lock this, and then I'll hit spacebar and it'll find more colours to match. And you say, yeah, those two I really like, let's lock that one as well, and keep going. And this is a lovely colour as well. So then what you do is you just take the colour code, Control C to copy, and come back to here. So let's say this one here. I'm going to double click, and I'm going to copy in the hex code that we got there. Press paste, hit enter, and you've got your color. Paste, and you can, from here you can eyedrop as well. So if I want this the same color, I could roll over another one, press the I for eyedropper tool, and just press it, and it will copy the color across as well. So I mean, these colors you might not want. I'm just showing you a demonstration. So let's go back, and I'm now going to say take this green color, copy, and you can actually save your own sets on that site as well, and it's all free, completely free. So let's paste that in, and you might want tints of these colors or something as well, which you can do, but you will know that they complement each other. So I think I had the eye as well, so let's do just double click this, there we go, and I had the forward in the one of these colors here. So let me just see if I can eyedropper it. There we go. I mean, a bit bright and gary, but you get the idea. Fantastic tool. And it's also got, just have a play. It's got explore, with people have saved different presets. You can save your own. Fantastic. So that's just a quick way, and you can, say, okay, I'm going to move that to another page, and I'm going to try lots of different color variations. That was how, I would do it to get colors that that complement each other. So there we go, guys. This is let's go back to the original, the nice colors that I chose. That is how to draw the first logo, the corporate logo. So now we're going to move on to logo number 2, which is the illustrated logo of the ice cream logo. I'll see you there right now. Okay, let's jump into logo type 2, which is more of an Illustrator style. So you can use this for anything sort of illustrated, really. It could be food places, holiday, whatever. Just a more illustrative type of logo. So let's crack on. First of all, let's do the top of the ice cream. So we're going to start off with a circle. Just going to turn this to outlines, so make things easier for now. Turn up the stroke, and let's center this, and then move it up a bit. Okay, we're going to produce the whole of the ice cream upright, and then obviously rotate it into place. So let's holding down the Alt key, dragging it off. We're going to create a base of our ice cream shape like this. I want to vary it up a bit, really, so let's drag this out. Okay, good to go. And from here you could probably think that we could just simply merge this, but we do want to actually keep the line which is intersecting down here. So what we're going to do is we're going to blend these together just on their own. Let's hit the merge key, or again you can use the shape builder tool. Then we're going to grab the main top of the ice cream sphere and bring it to the front. If you remember, that's Control and right bracket, left bracket to move back. And we're going to add some points in, because we want to keep the line coming in overlapping here. So if for instance I just deleted this and press the delete key, we wouldn't have enough lines. So what I want to do is add some points in. So we're going to use the add anchor point tool, or the short key is just plus. So here we go. I'm going to click around here and here. I'll just zoom in for you, make things easier. Now when we delete this one, we're left with an overlapping shape. So let's give everything the same thickness line at the moment. So let's put in, say, 6. Let's go a bit more. There we go. It's this sort of top of the ice cream shape coming into form now. So what we could do, let's colour everything red. What you'll see is obviously this gets cut off the top, but it's going to be overlapped, so we're not going to see this anyway. So if we colour both pieces the same colour, we get this sort of finish, but we're going to take the line off anyway and put it on separately. So let's Zoom in again. So depending on style, so what you could do here is there's a different choice under the stroke. You can choose your different endings of the cap. So you've got square cap, you've got round cap and butt cap. Round cap looks really good in some instances. It's good for sort of modern illustrations, even for characters like the kawaii sort of look. I'll just zoom in so you can see this again. I'm just going to select this, and if you notice the end here, the path, that's how it looks normally, which is flat. Up here you can choose round cap or projecting cap, which pokes out slightly further than the path. But we're not going to do that. So if you remember in the original illustration, is that we want it tapered. I'm just going to show you, I've got it on the other screen, the original design. We've got this nice sort of like calligraphic tapered look to the end. So what we're going to do here is, what I'm going to do is, it's quite useful for things like this to duplicate off a copy so that when we need it we can put it back, because we're actually going to separate the outline separately. So let's hold down the Alt key and move it off to the side, and then on this one zoom back in again, and now let's see if that line's thick enough. Do we want a thicker line? Let's see, let's go for something a little bit thicker. Get a nice sort of cartoony look. Great. So that was 14. Brilliant. So I'm going to select this this here now. So we want to go to Object, Expand, because what we want to do is we want to taper the end of this. Let me just undo that. I'm going to show you another tool that we can use, but we're going to show you why we're not going to use it. It's that there is another tool under here, which is called the width tool. Let me just see if we can find that here a minute. There we go, the width tool. So you can click on the end. I'll just zoom right in so you can see it. You can click on the end of a stroke and move left and right, and it does taper it for you. You can see this happening now. But what it does is it tapers it from the thickest point to the thinnest. I don't want that. I want it to stay, I want the line to stay thick up until about here and then go in, and there's no control over it doing it that way. So what we're doing is we're doing it manually, which gives us more options. So again, Object, Expand, Fill and Stroke, and now, so same as what we've done before, we've now turned this to an actual shape. So if you look here, I'm going to change the color. Let's see. Oh, this is actually grouped at the moment. Sorry. So Object, Ungroup. So when you do Object Expand, sometimes it does put it into groups. So let's see what we got here. Yeah, there we go. So now there's the inside and the outside separately. So now to get this nice tapered look, it's a case of just manually moving it now. So I'm going to zoom in here, and now we've got more control of it. So now we want to go to Direct Selection Tool, grab this one here, and move it over. And I've got Snap to Pixels, Snap to Grid on as well. So now if you zoom out, you get that lovely little tapered look. We want to put a little round corner on, which we're going to do next, but I'll just do the other side first. And it's great to add a bit of variation as well, so I'm going to do it on this side as well. I'm going from the inside to the out. Here we go. There we go, which is much better looking than this sort of flat end or even the sort of rounded cap. You get much more as if it's been drawn with a calligraphy pen. So now I want to go in and I want to add the round cap, which we can do. Remember, we can do that just shapes. It's going to be very subtle because you won't see it from the outside, but it'll still look great. So let's zoom in. I'm going to select here, and just as before, move the handles in, and because we've selected the whole shape, it's done it to the other side as well. So really quickly and easily, we've managed to go from this flat shape to this cartoony sort of lovely sort of overlapping shape. Great. Let's move on to the next step. And now, obviously, we've got the background separately and the outline on the top. So sometimes it's good to always have your outline on the top so you've got more control and you can colour it, but this is pretty usable at the moment. So we've still got this in case we need it, but we didn't need it at the moment, so I'm just going to move that off to the side. Sometimes I work like that. Sometimes I like to save backups of things, you know, especially before you merge them. So for instance, these three balls, it might have been good to copy them off before we merge them, because now they're stuck together and we can't go back. But I mean, this is fine, we can always reshape it for now. But if you've got a more complex shape, that could happen in the future there as well. And as you can see, there's a little bit overlapping there. You can see it underneath, but we can easily fix that. Let's just move that down a little bit for now, and we can always round this edge off. Perfect. Right, what I want to do now is I'm going to put all this on a layer. It's good to have a layer. So at the moment we've got layer 1, which is just the general layer that we've been using for everything. Let's put this on its own layer. So we'll call this ice cream main, and save our file. What we're going to do now is work on a bit of the shading that we had down the side. So from here, I'm actually going to select everything. I'm going to duplicate it off to the side together, and now I'm going to. I don't want the black outline on this, and I don't want the outline on this. So I'm going to simply say no outline. Then I'm going to select everything and merge together with the Pathfinder tool, Unite. Now we have an exact replica, but everything merged from this side. Let's give this a slightly darker colour to be shaded. Oh, I've done the outline. Let's go to make sure we do the inside. And now we're going to create the sort of shade as we want it across. So let's get the pen tool. And you can play with this and you can tweak it. I'm just going to draw something in nice. You'd probably get a bit of peaking as it goes around these points. I'm going to come around here. This can be quite free form, and then I'm going to go off to the side, top and top. So now we've got two shapes. I'll just give it a different, you don't need to give it a different colour, but I'm just showing you so you can see what we've got. So now I'm going to punch this one. I'm going to remove this area from this area with our favourite little tool, minus front. There we go. And then I'm going to hold down shift, because we've done it exactly in the line, and move it back over, back into place. So now you can see what we've got is now it is overlapping the black lines. So now here comes the advantage of being able to have the black lines on top. So we've got the first one. So I'm going to let's first of all, we didn't actually put that on the layer. So let me just select everything, put it on this layer. I want to include this now as well. Okay, so what we can do is now move the outlines to its own layer. So I'm going to select the black outline, create a new layer, outlines, and I'm just going to add it. Again, don't forget you can go object, arrange, center current layer, or my hotkey is Shift Control W. And there you go, and that brings it to the top. So now we want to move this outline onto the top as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to just quickly cut out the top part and then bring this to the outlines layer as well. If we select on this, we just want to see this. If you double click, this is something you can do. Instead of moving things away, you can actually go into what's called isolation mode. So if you double click, it takes you into its own into the object's own area, and I can't select the other piece, which is really useful for not selecting the wrong thing. So what we're going to do is just quickly cut out this section here. So we're going to go to our pencil again, and we're going to add points just here and here, and then we're going to just delete all these, which is just you can just marquee select as well, just delete them all in one go, and then this last little one. And there you go. We're left with we've cut the black line off as we need. To get back out of isolation mode, you can either click the arrow up here, or just double click to get back. So now we've got our area in the bottom, but it has been cut off. So what we want to do now is we don't want the outline on the bottom, but we want it on the top. So let's let's what we want to do is copy this and put this onto the outlines layer. First of all, you can either hold Alt, take it off, and then remove the outline on this, or you can do what's called copy and paste in place. So I'm going to select this. I'm going to go Edit, Copy, and we're going to select our outlines, and we're going to go Edit, Paste in Place, and that brings it to the top. Obviously it's in the wrong order still, but it's now exactly on the top, but we don't want the fill. So now we get rid of the fill on the top layer and we're left with the outline. Now the one on the bottom still has an outline, but it's exactly on the top. You can't see it, but we could easily just now turn off our outlines layer, select what was underneath, select the outlines and remove. So now we have a layer up here with outlines and a layer underneath with our shading, which is exactly what we wanted. Brilliant. Okay, let's move on. What we want to do now is I want to create, let's start creating the, let's create a little highlight with the ice cream up here first. Okay, so I'm going to save this up, and this is very simple. So you can either take a copy of this or just do a circle and we can punch it out. So we're going to do one. I'm going to create another one, Alt drag. Let's change the color so we can see what we're doing. Oops. And let's stretch it down, something like this. It's quite simple. Select the both and punch. Oops, sorry. Select them both and punch it out. Okay, and then I'm going to create a rectangle because I want a solid bottom shape. I'm going to duplicate this rectangle because we need another one. It just saves time. Little tips you can just drag, use, reuse, click, drag, and punch. Take this one. I want a little line in my highlight, so I'm just going to click, drag, punch. Now I'm going to color this white. Oops, sorry. Again, color this white. Select white. Bring it over. And we have a little highlight, so let's shrink this down a little bit, and we don't want it sort of bright white, so I'm going to go to the properties under appearance, click on the opacity, and let's take this down to 40, something like that, 40, 50, whatever your whatever you think suits your illustration. Okay, so that's the main bit of the ice cream done. We've done a bit of shading, done the baseline, done the highlight, and we've got our own separate cut out layers on our own layer. Let's zoom out. Let's move on to the cone. So let's move all of this up, and we're going to shrink it down a bit now as well. It's a bit big. Okay. And I'm definitely going to create a new layer to start working on the cone, and we can lock the other layers to not interrupt them as well. Let's create a new layer. Start off with cone. We might need multiple layers again for the shading. I'm going to move this layer. Just click and drag and move it to the bottom because obviously it's going to be underneath. Great. Okay, here we go. The cone. So there's a few ways you could either just draw it, or we could do a triangle and then do the radius bottom. So let's do it that way for the sake. Let's go to polygon tool, click. We're already set to 3 sides from before. I'm going to rotate this. I'm going to hold down the shift key to rotate that way. Scale it in, scale upwards. This hasn't got a colour, so let's just, so we can see what we're doing, let's whack it up that way. Then align this to the centre as well, and scale it up. Now what I'm doing here is I'm holding just the Alt key, and this does just the sides. So I'm going to go out to about here, and then I'm going to select the direct selection tool, and make a cut. Let's just, I only want to do this one, so let's just bring this up like this, bring it down. We've got a line across the top, but I mean, we can cut it off. I mean, we're never going to see it anyway. Right, so that's the base of the cone. Let's give it a quick color, whatever cone color you, oh, wrong way. Let's select the fill color, give it a cone color, and I'm going to double click here just to make it a bit more cone colored, a bit browny. There we go. Save again. Always save my work regularly. Zoom in a bit so you can see what we're doing. Okay, so now we want to create some crisscrosses, or we also want to do some shading. Let's work on the crisscrossing bit first, shall we? So again, we can, however pattern you want to do, you might want to do diamonds or freehand draw lines across, or again use circles. So let's go with a let's draw a line. So let's get the pen tool, draw something like maybe like this, and let's see, let's do something like this. Okay, so we've got a shape here. It's got a bit of color here, so we want no fill, and we're going to change the outline color to a sort of dark brown. Before double click, obviously we can update this and change this as we go. Let's move this across. Yeah, that's probably not bad. So I'm going to expand the fill, because what I want to do is I want a nice sort of taper thing to match the style of the top. So object, expand. Okay, let's go in and change our shape a bit. I'm going to drag, oops, let's just drag this down a bit so we can see what we're doing, and move this over. Again, you can play around with the style. Now what I'm doing is I'm dragging this and moving it over. Yeah, that might be good. Get a bit more tapering in it, maybe, perhaps. This one, well, you're not going to see this anyway. We're going to clip this off. Let's go a bit thicker, a bit of a different style. We could smooth the shape here. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So let's see. We got one going across there. I'm going to Alt, bring it across. Let me just see. We could leave it sort of hanging off the end a bit like this. Add a bit of difference. Rotate them in. This one. Let's do another one at the top here. Rotate that one. Let me just lock the other layers. Outlines. What I'm doing is I'm clicking and dragging the padlock. Let's do another one here. I want to shrink this down. This one, let's shrink down. Maybe rotate back up. Again, this is all just style preference. Just trying to create some interest, really. Okay, cool. Let's select all of those. Not the background. Let's group that, which is Control G or Object Group. I'm clicking and dragging to duplicate. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to Object, Transform, and then Reflect, and click OK. And we've got it the other way. We just made a duplicate and we've reflected it across the horizontal plane. Move this across. Let's just want to create some sort of crisscrossing pattern, really. So now let's ungroup all of them now that we've flipped them across. So we've got more control. Let's see. Yeah, we can do them all the way across. Let's rotate this one in. Just trying to get them to cross over a bit more. Yeah, that could be nicer. Rotate this in. Extend it across. I mean, you can spend a lot longer on this, obviously. Okay. It might look quite good to have one sort of not dead in there, and then we can always go in, get the direct selection tool, just select these this end path and round that one off perhaps. Again, style choice, totally up to you. Okay, so what we're going to do now is obviously it would be a real pain to cut these and trim these off around the edge. We're going to do something called clipping. So let's just hide that for now, those 3 layers, so we can see what we're doing. I'm going to select, let's see, let's group these first, shall we? Yeah, this could be, so again, let's take a backup copy, so we've got them all, and then select them all, minus this, let's merge them all now, so they're all one path. There we go. And we're going to take this shape and put it on top and clip it out. So we're going to take this background, we're going to copy, which is edit copy or Control C, edit, paste in place, or Shift Control V, and that's now over the top. We're going to use this as a mask to trim out this. So what you can do is you select the top one, select the one underneath, and go Object, Clipping Mask, Make. And as you can see, it trims everything off. Okay? So now what we want, again, is we want our black line over the top. So let's create a new layer, cone outlines, and we're going to do the same as before. So we're just going to go copy the shape, going to go to our new layer and go Edit and paste in place, and that goes over the top. We have copy and pasted the wrong one, so let's just fix that. So it's just this we want to copy, go to this area, new layer, edit, paste in place, and we want to get rid of the fill, and there we go. And we've still got the fill underneath, the outline underneath, so you could, if you wanted to, hide the outline, this layer here, cone outlines, and go to the one underneath and just remove. So now we've neatened things up. So we've got the cone layer. As you can see, if I roll over, you can still see what's clipped. If I double click this, you can actually go in and still move things around. So you've got a bit of freedom there, and you're in isolation mode. Double click to come out, and you're back out. So we've got the cone, the outlines, and then all of our ice cream layers. There you go. So we're building that up now, and like I say, this is just a safety thing. I've kept these in case we wanted to rearrange things. You might think, oh, I want to move this one here, and it might be too late because you've merged them, but you've got them here as a backup. So just move them off the artboard, forget about them for now, and if you need them, they're there. Okay, so let's add a little bit of shading to the cone. So really simple. Let's duplicate the cone again, and let's get the pen tool. Let's do a nice simple curve this way, and you can either go this way and punch it out, or this way. So let's go this way to punch it out. There we go. So I'm going to give this a different, a darker colour. I'm going to move this back into place, and it's under the outlines already, so there's no need to, we don't need to worry about the outlines. And obviously it's a little bit dark at the moment, so we're going to go to opacity. Either click the arrow and just dial it down to what you think looks good. And let's see, opacity. Oh, there we go. Dial didn't seem to want to work very well. Yeah, I'm going to go a little bit lighter actually. So opacity 40%. Let's say that's at 50. Let's say 40. Yeah, good to go. So in the original design, I decided that the black outlines were a bit too harsh, so we could use a darker color of the actual color that of the main interior. So let's go and fix that up now. So let's unlock the other layers first, and we want to change the color of the outlines. To select if you could select everything with this little dot here, it's pretty useful. You just go hit and it selects everything. But what we got to remember is that the top part, the black liner here, is actually a filled shape, but the bottom is still an actual stroke. So we need to be on the correct thing here. So we need to color them separately. So let's just do that quickly, or we could convert this to a shape, but we don't need to for now. So I'm just going to let's pick a darker red and go a bit. Let's go darker than that. Obviously, we want it. You don't want it black, but you don't want it too dark. That looks nice. So here on this one now. So now we need to color the outline, not the inside, and we need to let's say we need to make it the same color. So oops. Obviously, if you use the eyedropper, it uses the fill as well. So we need to make it the same color as this. So if we don't have an actual swatch, it's going to be best to save that color. So we're going to go up to here. I'm going to go File, New Swatch. I'm just going to call this red outline like this. Okay. Now we've got it saved in our swatch library. So I'm just going to go back to here. Select this. We're on outline, and now we can select our swatch. It's a good little way of saving your colours, especially if you've got a brand logo. You can save all your colours in here. Corporate colours, that's what you should do anyway. Your RGB values or CMYK. Now let's go down and fix and sort the cone out. So we want a sort of browny out colour. Let's see, something like that. Yep, I think we are looking good, really. I want to change the colour of this actually. It's a bit the actual things in the middle. They're a bit grey. Maybe we should go a bit browner. Let's have a look. Let's just double click here. I'm going to go for something a bit. Yeah, that looks better. I'm just going to zoom out, see what that looks like. Here's our shapes that we've kept. We can delete them later. Okay, we're good to go. So that's the main bulk of the ice cream done. I want to get some nice little drips, and then we want to get the typeface in there as well. So let's zoom out. Now I'm gonna group everything here. So or we can just rotate it into place as it is. If you don't, like I say before, in logo 1, if you group, you will lose your layers. But it's not really hard to redo really from here. So I'm just going to go group. I'm going to rotate this sort of into place like this. Shrink it down now. What you could do as well is you could actually take a copy of that if you need it. Keep things as a backup, like a little asset library. So right, let's carry on. Let's group this and rotate this into some sort of position that might look good. Shrink it down. Okay, let's start turning this into a logo. Let's move this out. This seems to have slipped a bit. Okay, so I had some nice text on the old one. Let me just check the typeface. Let's go for let's type this in now and see what we get. So ice cream. Text is tiny from before. Let's go to our properties panel to choose our font. I think it was Melander. Yep, that is good. And we want to take the kerning back down to 0. Okay, so starting to look more like a logo. Let's remember the colors that we had. I think I've got it on the screens here, so you can see I sort of went with a sort of iced blue color for that. So I'm going to choose that up here. There's another way of choosing colors, the little picker up here as well. You've got to select them first, obviously, and then okay. It's a little bit too blue, isn't it? We don't hurts my eyes a little bit, so let's turn it down to a bit more grey. That's a bit more classy. And then we want to get we want to get a nice outline on this. So if you outline the font, say if I click this and then open up our swatches and choose a dark blue, you're gonna get this, and if you make it thicker, it sort of goes inwards. So a little trick to get a nice sort of border on this is select the font, select the typeface. Again, make it backup if you want. And what we're going to do is we're going to go type, create outlines, and now that is not a font anymore. It's not editable. It's not. You can't change the text like you can here. It's now paths. So let's zoom in. As you can see, it's actually grouped. If I go into the group, each letter is a separate path now. Okay, so what I'm going to do is highlight those. I'm going to merge them together, not that we need it, but then I'm going to go to Object. This is a great little tool, Path, Offset Path. And as you can see, we talked about this earlier in the beginning when I went through my favourite tools as well, I think. I'm going to go for something, I mean, that looks quite good, 8 pixels, have a little look, turn it on, turn it off, yep. Great. So now you've got 2 copies, but they are grouped together. So you could ungroup them, or you can go into the group, zoom in so you can see what you're doing, and then you've got the two versions here. Let's select the outer version and give it a darker color. There we go. That's and this one. It's a bit too purpley for me, so let's bring this down to like a dark blue. Let's see what we can do here. A bit darker again. Yeah, that looks nice. Let's go out of there. Great, looking better. And then I had a little strap line here called homemade as well, so let's just quickly put that in, and then we're going to move on to doing these drips, which I want dripping on some of the letters. So let's just quickly type in this homemade. I actually had that as 2 different words, so it's to get the spacing in. And this was, let me check the font that we used for this one. It's Amatic. Here, Amatic. Yeah, that looks great. Change the kerning up. Something a little bit lot wider. Obviously, again, this is just purely fictional. Had a nice little a little sort of bullet point, a separating bullet point in the middle. Okay, and then we have some little brush strokes. We'll do them in a minute. Let's group all that, move it up into place. Okay, so let's move the ice cream down. I like it going sort of behind here a bit, really. Okay, great. Let's go in and let's create these little drips. So what we had is sort of drips coming down onto the letters or above the letters, whatever you want. Let's create the sphere first, which should be here. Use the eyedropper tool to color it straight away. And then I had let's see, the shape going up. Let's do the rectangle. Drip like this. Just merge these. Okay, that looks good. And then I'm going to do a path, offset path again. Object, path, offset path. I'm going to use this as the outline. So that looks good. Okay. I'm going to choose the same color as this. And then what I'm going to do is, oops, let me just say, go back to where I was. You can always, if you accidentally do that, just go redo, Shift Control Z, and just keep going. Here you go, back to where we were. Sorry, I just pressed the wrong button, that was all. I'm going to select these two vertices and bring them up. So we've got the base of our drip. I'm going to create some shading. I'm going to get another circle. Offset this one. Something like this. Punch it out. Let's make this a dark red for the shading. And this time we can just put it directly in. It's quite small. Sometimes it's nice to actually have a little gap sometimes as well, but we'll just put it up to the edge for now. There we go. And then we're going to do, I'm going to steal the highlight from up here actually. So it's got groups. I'm just going to go into it, select it, copy, double click to come back out and paste. Let's zoom in and just rotate it into place. There we go. So we've got a kind of sort of drip formation. Let's just group that. And obviously you see the shading here. If you wanted it here, for instance, then you would need to bring the shading under there. So you just got to be clever in the positioning of it. So I had two, so something like this, a longer one, so we can select the direct selection tool, select all the path, even though they're multiple objects, you can reshape them. So do something like this, just experiment with it. Maybe make different shaped drips. Maybe move this one up here. You know, have fun with it. You know, maybe we should. Let's see. Maybe one should be smaller, a lot smaller, but thinner as well. Yeah, that looks quite good. And we've got a bit of a real slight. I think it's just my monitor. I think it was just the screen showing a line, but it's not actually there. But just to be safe, we can go in and select this one, and just use the arrow key to nudge up one, just to get rid of this little black line. I don't think it's actually there, but there we go. Let me get a nice cleaner line then. There we go. Two little drips. You might want to, put one here. You might want to make them long and thin. You could put the little tip on the ice cream there. You know, just go crazy and just practice. This really is just for practicing as well. You know. And a last little touch. Let's just add a few little brush strokes down here. I'm going to get my. I'm going to hit B. This brings up the brush tool, which is here, B. And this is just freehand drawing. Okay. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to load up our brushes library. Window, brushes, and you can. There's lots of different ones built into this. You can actually go open brush library, artistic, calligraphic, charcoal, ink, all sorts of stuff. If I click this, you get sort of new brushes come up. So if I say select this, it does it in those sorts of style, or I like this one, this little chalky one. So if we, let's just choose a nice little blue. And then, you know, you might want to do something like this, or be even more subtle. I think my original design, I just had two little things like this, and they're editable. Even though they're brushes, they're editable paths. You can now sort of go in and change the thickness or the style, play with the different brushes. So let's say select all of those, choose this one instead. You know, just go crazy. And there we have it. Let's just move this into better positioning. Hide this so we can see what we're doing more. There we go, guys. That's a more illustrative type of logo that could be applicable for anything. Doesn't have to be just food things. It could be all sorts of companies. You know, it's just to hope you've learned some of the techniques that are useful for this sort of illustrative technique. You can take this even further, add little details in the ice cream glistening bits. Add textures, more shading, but hopefully you've learned something from this. And let's go on to logo 3, which is the eco logo. Again, different style, different techniques. We're going to use more of the pen tool to get a clean look, and we'll move on to that now. Okay, here we are with the third and final logo. Different style again, so let's get on with this. Again, just a made-up eco world logo that I created for this tutorial. So this is what we're going to create. Let's get on with that. Let's move it over to the side. First thing, first step, I think we should create the leaf. So let's get on with the pencil, and we are going to draw this by hand and shape it. So this is what we do a lot sometimes. Let's go with a sharp point at the beginning. So we don't click and drag, we just click once. Then we click and drag. Click, drag again. And then maybe one more here and here. Okay, so the shape looks pretty bad at the moment, so let's go in and move this around. So you want whatever leaf sort of style design that you're going for, or it might not be a leaf, you know. Just going to smooth this out. Let's see, yeah. Let's get a bit of a wider leaf going on here. Yeah, looks good. Not so much of a kink. A bit more of a bend at the top, a bit more of a flick maybe. So you can to get more volume at the top here, instead of just bending this, you drag it. You see this? So you can get a thin like drop, or if you drag it, it fills the volume. So let's go with something like that. Okay, we can always adjust this anyway. Brilliant. Let's fill this a little green. Like I say, I do work in black and white for corporate logos, but something like this, it's good to see it, you know, in the colours to sort of help us visualise what the shapes. Let's give it just any old green colour for now. The other way around, no outline. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate this into position. I sort of want it up the top like this here, and shrink it down. Let's go ahead and create a circle for our ring. Swap that around, find our align tool, align to artboard that was set to again. Okay, go up to the stroke, and let's get a nice thick stroke, something like this. Okay, so as you can see, this is the ring of the logo with the leaf forming, and I wanted the sort of leaf coming up the top with a break in the curve up here. So let's break up this curve. Let's add a point in, add anchor point tool. I'm going to we've already got a point there, but we want it to break sort of around here, and we want let's add another point in there just so we've got room to play with. And then we're going to delete that section there. Okay, so then we've created a small hole here. This is form the logo this way. I can already see this is a little bit too fat at the top here, so let's move them. Sometimes, like when you're trying to select a point, sometimes you can either just drag select, or you can hold like shift and it highlights it as well. Anyway, so let's move on from that bit, and what we want to do now is we want to create this sort of cutaway through the leaf. It's sort of like the crevice, and I found it was easy to put it up here so I could see it in angles, because I want to match the sort of circle. So I'm going to draw that by hand. I'm going to go back to the pencil, and I'm going to start here, go up to here maybe, and then I want a sharp point, so I'm going to click once. I'm not going to drag. I'm going to drag this way as well, and just finish it off there. Let's make this white so we can see what we're doing. Okay, and now we're just going to reshape it. So let's zoom in here. It's a bit wobbly at the moment, so let's tighten that up. Yeah, that's better. I want this up to sort of maybe the top here. More of a curve. Again, you know, your design of leaf might be completely different. You know, you could use this for any type of leaf, really. Let's zoom out. Yeah, that was pretty good. And we could punch this out, but I'm just going to keep it as the white in there for now, because then, you know, we can use it for later. So let's select both, Alt drag off. Let's give this a different color green. I'm going to group those, hold shift to shrink it down. Let's put this behind, and then don't forget using. You could do layers as well, which we might do in a minute. But just for now, I'm just going to hit the control and the square arrow, which I keep drilling into your heads. I know it, but it's so useful. Let's put this up here, something like this. Okay, so that's taking shape already. Nice. I want a really nice straight point to this this curve. So we're going to turn this into I'm going to turn this into shapes. Before we do that, let's make a backup. So we've got it as a stroke. I'm double clicking these to open these, by the way, these menus. You can do that on anything. Right. So select the stroke, object, expand. We're going a bit quicker now because hopefully you've picked up all these techniques. Okay, so now again we've converted this to a shape, so it's not a stroke anymore. I'm going to zoom in. So here, you know, as a different design, you might say want a rounded cap, which looks nice. That could be something you're going for as well. My original design, I chose to do something a bit different, and it was make the point nice and sharp down to about here, and then I'm going to drag this handle out. Now, as you can see, there's a little point here. I could just simply put this one on top of the other, but I'm just going to, for now, just to use something different, I'm going to go back and I'm going to use our anchor point tool, convert, and change that. See, we've got quite a lot of control of how thick and how tapered this line is now. Do whatever way you feel comfortable. And you can see it popping. It's because I got snap to grid on, snap to pixel on, but there we go. Really nice shape, really nice. Okay, this one is coming along quite quickly. Let's move on to let's do the water base that we had. So I'm going to go back to the pen tool. So you can either up here, go into the menu, or we can hit P for the hotkeys. It's good to start getting used to these hotkeys. So this water can be any shape you want. Let's just think of something nice, just something quite smooth. So let's just have not, don't want too many curves. Okay, then I'm going to get a circle straight over the top, create a different color. Let's align that to the center. Oh, pretty good size actually. So let's just go a bit bigger because we can always shrink this down, and then select these. And it's not going to be punched this time because it does it this way around. So let's think about this. Do we move this to the front and then punch this out of this? No, because it wouldn't work that way. So what we can do is select this one and use the intersect tool. You see the difference? Great, so let's just go back. Sorry, that should be a nice blue. So there we go, picking up shape really quickly, this one. I had a lovely little drop hanging off the end. Again, I wanted everyone to sort of get used to this freehand drawing, so let's draw that again. You could duplicate from the leaf maybe, but it's just as quick to just quickly go in and draw it. So let's, I want it coming off the end here, so you can go, you can see the little X actually snaps to the curve as well. We don't want to add to this. Actually, I want a sharp point, so I don't want to click and drag. Just want to click once. And let's go round. Again, that shape looks pretty bad to start off with, but that's always the way until we reshape things. It's almost like it's like falling off the end of the leaf. There we go, great. Just create a little highlight here. So 1, 2. They don't have to be different colours to punch. I'm doing this to make it be easier for you to see. There we go. Let's turn this to a nice white, like on a little water drop. Shrink him down. Rotate him in. Something like that. This could be pure white for this one, or you could use the opacity just to get it, knock it back a bit, but I quite like it just harsh like that. There we go, it's taking shape. So I did have one more shape in here, and then I'm going to show you how to do this gradient. Let's go. This was just a pure circle. Let's zoom out. It was 1. And I'm going to just enlarge this one over the top, punch that one out, and then we're going to play with the shape of this one. I didn't want it following this, just be a little bit different, a little bit abstract. Let's give it a lighter colour, but let's make it a little bit more subtle. Yeah, that could work. Again, it's just a design choice. Of course, signifies sort of ripples or something like that, or this whole thing's supposed to be sort of leaves, the ocean and the world, something like that maybe, okay, we're good to go. So now we're going to do the gradient bit. Let's just, before we go in, I just want to I want to get this curve going up a little bit higher, perhaps. Let's see. Let me just have another look. No, it's not too bad actually. But me being fussy like I am, let's just alter. Yeah, that's the beauty of these curves. You can go in and edit them whenever you want. Yeah, that's a bit better. So what I want to do is, in the original design, I'll just bring it back over. We had some lovely gradient, and we're going to do that now. But to do that, we have to, at the moment, these are different shapes, 1, 2, 3. It does have to be one whole shape. So again, I would really recommend taking a backup of this shape. You can do the whole thing, or I'm going to move that off to the side. So we've got that, because over on the side here now we've still got all these elements if we need to go back to it, as opposed to this, which I'm now going to punch this one into this first. So let's see, we could do this a few ways. We can punch this in like this, and then we can just mold them together, or we can select them all and do a let's see, would divide work? Maybe one of these, divide. So that leaves us with all this little pieces in the group. I'm just going to ungroup that object, ungroup. No, that's not. No, that's a bad choice actually. So let's just go back a minute. Let's do it the way I was going to do it. So we'll punch that one out of that. There we go. And then we'll do this one with this one and merge. Okay. So now we need to go and neaten up this line a little bit, because it was the actual path underneath. So you see this line? It's gone a bit straight. We want to turn that back into a smooth path. So again, I like to keep all these little mistakes and stuff in, because it's, you know, this is how things go. You know, you come across these things, you have to fix them, or just go back and do them a different way. But it's so simple. Just select this, turn it back into a curve. Let's push this up a bit. Yeah, lovely. There's a really nice curve going in there. And if you're going to be really, really picky, obviously you would if it was a professional job. You've got a tiny little step here. You see this? So you would need to go in, not the delete key, you would now need the remove key. So you would remove, say, you know, whichever way you want to go, remove this one. Or we didn't want to remove that one, but we did want to remove the first one, and now, yep, completely got rid of that little tiny step that was in there. There you go. Much neater. Now this is all one shape, so that we can fill it with a gradient. Brilliant. We've still got this one underneath as not a shape. If this logo was to go over something that wasn't white, then obviously you would need to punch that out anyway, which is just really quick and easy to do. So let's now choose this, and we're going to turn it into a gradient. Now you've got the gradient tool here, or you can select this and this tiny little box down here. You can do this, and it turns it to a gradient. And with this, you've got the angle. So you would need to set your colors first. So you've got the start and the finish color. If I click on this, you double click, you can open up the palette, and then choose your color. There you go. And then we choose the first color, something like this, or whatever. Really, you could go crazy gradients. And then with this one, you can actually change the angle. Okay. But you do actually have a gradient tool, which gives you more options. Oh, before I go into that, you can actually change the opacity of the first color if you and you can add more colors. There you go. The more I select, the more colors you add. Let me just drag down to delete them, like this. Drag down, and you can change the opacity, so you can have see-through to solid, for instance. But I'm just going to show you this tool. So this gives you more options. So you can see this little tool. You can, it's just interactive. You can instead of like the slider here, you've got it all here. You can also click and drag. You can spin it around. You can get a nice sort of tone like this, and you can actually move it around as well. So let's just move this out of the way. Just have to have a play with this. And if we select this, we can actually go in and change the mix of the colours. So let's actually mix our own green at the top here. Let's go for sort of like a yellowy green on one side, and then select this one, and let's go for sort of a greeny green on the other side. Oh, that's nice. I like that. A bit more earthy. There we go. Let's get the typography in there. Does it really finish the logo off? Make it nice. Let's go text tool. You know, I just called this Eco World just just to get the idea across. Hold down Shift to scale up the text. Let's see, properties. I went for, there was a free font here called Railway. Let's see, let's zoom back a bit. I'm going to scale all this down. Let's move this up. Black's a bit too harsh, so let's come up with a nice colour that's a bit earthy towards the thing again. Green. I want to sort of just off black really. Use something like that. And then I think in the original design I just put a strap line on there, which is green by nature. And that's way too bold, so let's choose a nice maybe Gill Sans. Yep, looks great. I tend to add a lot of lead kerning in my strap lines. Let's make sure it's aligned to center. There we go. I'm going to type in more than this on that one. Let's go for something like 300. There we go. Nice. Nice Eco World logo. Do we need a space in there? Yeah. Just align that again. There we go. So there we have it. We've covered all three logos. Hopefully you've learnt something. And as you can see, it is fairly easy to make any shapes or designs inside Adobe Illustrator. It does take practice and it does take time, especially with the pen tool, to get used to it. But just keep at it and you'll definitely get there. Now, as mentioned, we're going to, in a second video, be creating a fully animated logo sting from one of these logos. Just as a reminder, this is what we're going to be producing. So there you can see that we're going to break the logo up, take it from Adobe Illustrator into After Effects and create an animated logo sting. Even though it's a 2D logo, it's going to be in 3D space. There's going to be some advanced techniques in there, but even if you're a beginner, join in and I'm sure you'll be able to bring your designs, your logos to life and create simple animated logo stings. So that's it, guys. Hope you really enjoyed it. I would love to hear from you to see if there is any other specific more tutorials that you would like, whether it's motion design, 3D animation, more Illustrator, After Effects, Maya, those sorts of things. So please do leave a comment, and if you liked it, I'd appreciate a like and subscribe to help me grow this channel to be able to produce more free videos for you guys. Thanks very much, and I'll see you in the next video.